If I start saying something again that I shouldn't about you running down roast. Oh.
Hey there, sports fan. Pro wrestling is a fake sport of extremes. But sometimes, even in a business that's supposed to be over the top, the stories go too far and veer into the oncoming traffic of reality. And that's when wrestling gets real. Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, perhaps best known for the time they allegedly stole money from a wrestling promoter in West Virginia in 1997. Or did they? Probably. Maybe. I don't know. On a 4-day loop out of Nashville, Doug and Tommy arrived at the venue in Huntington, West Virginia to 800 fans and no ring. However, some studious member of the crew decided that a wrestling mat would do just fine, and the show went on.
Everybody been mat wrestling the whole night. So anyway, I had a headlock on one of them, and I said, shoot me off, one tackle, drop down, I'll get it again. He said, huh? So he shot me off, and I run to the edge of that mat and lean back like I hit them ropes and come off and give him a tackle and run and hit the other one. And then people went crazy.
Knowing they had one last stop left on the swing, Doug and Tommy went to Sistersville, West Virginia, and asked for their money up front. They got to the show, and there was a real-life ring this time. But Doug and Tommy never wrestled. Dun, dun, dun. Now, the story varies. Some say Doug and Tommy got their money from the promoter and snuck out of the building. Other people go so far as to allege the two committed aggravated burglary. Either way,
we get about 30, 45 minutes away from the thing, and all of a sudden these blue lights come on.
Much to the boys' surprise, the police are apparently looking for a firearm that was allegedly used in the alleged robbery.
Well, they searched the car. They didn't find no, but I had a little, one of them left-handed cigarettes.
Doug and Tommy went directly to jail and were instead charged $200 for Tommy's fanny pack paraphernalia. Turns out the truth might even be more ridiculous. According to Tommy and Doug, back at the show, they were getting ready. Jimmy Golden walks up.
He said the guy told them that the show's canceled. So we didn't think nothing about it. I mean,
that's right. According to Tommy Rich, one person walked up to them and said he thought he heard the show might be canceled. So Doug and Tommy thought nothing of it, asked nobody, and just kind of shrugged and left. Flash forward to 1999, and the real reason I asked you here, sports fan. Doug and Tommy were set to work a hot angle on Memphis TV against Jerry the King Lawler's then semi-secret son, Brian Christopher, and something called Spellbinder, whose basically average appearance does not match his whimsical name. Promoter Randy Hales decided how the angle would go. It would get super personal and blur the lines between the incredibly fake world of pro wrestling and the naked vulnerability of real life. Problem is, while this was decided and airing on Memphis TV, Doug Gilbert wasn't even asked because he was in Japan, and apparently phones didn't work there at the time. And Doug, along with his deceased brother Eddie, weren't exactly known for going with the flow.
You like people having gimmicks on your face and piece of shit promoters?
I'd been gone to Japan for 3 weeks, and I got back, and when I landed, I turned my cell phone on. When I started listening to my messages, every one of them was saying, "You're not going to like this."
Young Brian Christopher was busy spending almost all of his Spirit Halloween gift card on costumes, dressing up as Doug Gilbert.
Daggy, daggy, daggy.
And while these segments were meant to take cheap shots at Doug and Tommy, the most offensive part to me, as a working professional and someone with multiple comedy degrees, is the clear lack of preparation and the "we'll just wing it out there and let the wig do the heavy lifting" approach.
I got at least 5 of you chant my name this week. Last week, I could only get about 2 of you to chant my name.
the little Lawler continues his unscripted comedy special.
I hate you.
Hey, come on, guys.
I hate you, Brian Christopher. I hate everything about you.
Kabuki! Brian tries some kind of bit with his chewing gum, drops it on the petri dish of a wrestling canvas, and pops it back into his mouth, much to the audience's chagrin.
Oh, man.
Listen to me. You know, I was blackballed from the WWF, whatever it's called.
Brian very quickly runs out of steam already. And it's kind of like your annoying cousin showing off in front of company at the family get-together. But two's company, so fake Doug brings out the Spellbinder, who is thoughtful enough to poke fun at Tommy Rich's implied alcoholism.
That's not Tommy Rich.
Thanks, buddy. Just in case anyone at home thought that was Tommy Rich, it isn't. Stop calling.
Tommy, hey, Tommy, you tell these people something while I hop around like a kangaroo like I always do.
And I'd like to offer these two a laurel and hearty handshake.
Somebody say something about fired up.
No, Tommy, nobody's ever said anything about fired up. That's a stupid line you've been saying for years and years.
Hey, Dougie. Somebody say something about fired up.
No, Tommy.
And I don't know what's on second, but I do know that when wrestlers get personal and attack one another with deep-seated, industry-specific insults, the crowd almost never cares.
Till they finally find out I couldn't work a lick.
Kabuki! Real Tommy Rich runs out while fake Brian Christopher, dressed as fake Doug Gilbert, Brian Lawler, does more 1930s comedy bits. And whoever's in charge of this talent show is going to have to answer to the principal for letting these boys do this. But the shits keep coming. Doug Gilbert's real-life dad is former wrestler Tommy Gilbert, and Dougie's still in the Far East, and the costumes are still on sale.
Well, you know it's the day before Halloween.
Brian and the Spellbinder come out as Doug Gilbert's parents.
That's not Tommy Rich.
Worth noting that 1 week has passed since the last time they were out here, and no one has decided to put a pin onto a steno pad and have an idea.
My name is, what is my name? Tommy Gilbert. It is not. You people might not, know me, because I wrestled back in the, they call it the Stone Ages.
You know, I went to sleepaway camp so long ago that it was the Stone Age.
Look, sports fan, we try our best to just go along with the fun on this show.
I'm sorry.
Dave Brown is 107 older than you.
But these clips are proof positive that not only was the Attitude Era timeline of wrestling hot garbage on a dirty plate,
Bark like a dog.
This is just disgusting to me.
it proved that just because we can do it, just because we can push the envelope and blow up the whole business,
When you talking about disgusting, you talking about my hair?
and slap the audience in the face with the fact that it's fake and these are just guys playing characters,
This morning, what'd you have for
And
breakfast?
let me tell you this.
that it's just guys pretending to be wrestlers, but there's a real story under there and they have real heat with each other in real life at this fake show.
Doug Gilbert is a disgrace.
And that's why you should watch
He's a disgrace. He's a disgrace, Dave.
irresponsibly inserting an exaggerated reality into what is essentially a fake sport
He sucks.
permanently breaks the illusion that makes pro wrestling fun.
Get to it. I'm disgusted with myself for putting up with it.
By trying not only to insult the audience's intelligence by not giving them
Good guys versus bad guys.
and reducing everything to two guys from your 11th grade history class who didn't do the assignment but decided to do a funny presentation instead.
Oh, here's your jacket spray. I don't know why your jock keeps itching. I scratch it all the time.
The trust of the audience is then permanently broken.
Here's one of your diapers, Doug. Tommy, I'm sorry.
It'd be like a director popping on screen in the middle of a movie at the theater to say that the lead actor was a dick.
Tell me what he had for dinner last night.
It might be entertaining for a second, but it kills the entire vibe.
If you have a point, let's get to it, huh?
And all at the expense of the actual industry that encouraged people, that inspired people to walk through that door, take their hard-earned money from their paychecks, give it to someone, get a ticket, and sit down under the pretense that there was a promise that professional wrestling would be shown to them.
You okay now? Are you okay? Are you okay?
But I'm mostly insulted by the bad comedy.
Oh my gosh, that was his Viagra. Oh my God!
Brian and Spellbinder decide to have a funeral for Gilbert and Rich. So the alleged ashes of Tommy Rich were put into a styrofoam Arn Anderson suitcase, and Doug's eternal resting place.
This is the only thing that we could find that's stuck more than Doug Gilbert, a vacuum cleaner.
Spellbinder here, representing the Hair Club for Hacks, faces his greatest foe, a live microphone.
Tommy Rich, at the age of 17, held the NWA heavyweight title, and he lost it in 24 hours, making him the shortest-lived NWA championship champion.
Today, Junior?
Doug was given the nickname Dangerous when, as a child, he picked up the cigarette butt that was being used to heat their trailer there in
Brian.
Okay. Hey, calm down, sports fan. Listen, a broken clock is funny twice a day. Our comedy duo hop into the ring on this, as a reminder, wrestling show. The lights go out.
And when you've been on a flight for 12 to 14 hours and you hadn't had no sleep, and you go home and you can't go to sleep, you get up and go straight to TV, what happened is something of the effect of that.
But it ain't over till it's over.
Spellbinder, if you wasn't on the steroids, boy, you wasn't weighing 110 pounds.
But the real story is the jet-lagged, short-tempered Gilbert who just landed in from Tokyo.
I suspect Mr. Gilbert's got a plan or two for Mr. Christopher.
And that pause isn't a kabuki moment. It's absolutely terrifying. It's the pause of a man making the premeditated decision of how much he still wants to wrestle here after this promo.
You know what, Dave? Who should I blame?
Yourself, because you should never cut your own bangs.
It's gonna start tonight at the New Daisy Theater, because you know what?
Okay, we're all good, sports fan. He's just doing a wrestling promo.
Brian Christopher, if I was you, I would want to play Doug Gilbert every week because you've never got over.
Scratch that. We're headed down to the range.
You want to play that family card? Not on the street. You think he wants to play that card with me? And people say, oh, May Brian, that card can hurt you so bad. Listen, son, Doug Gilbert, why was Brian Christopher dragging them 4 or 5 belts around that little red wagon?
Is anyone else getting nervous?
It kind of hurts me, you know, Dave. There's things we're not supposed to talk about out here, right?
Like, I know this is from like 1999, but I feel like there's a chance he might say something mean to me.
They told me a few things in the back that I couldn't talk about, but I don't really remember what they was.
That will probably not hold up in court.
One of them might have been Brian Christopher was a champion around here for so long because his daddy,
Wait.
because his daddy Jerry Lawler owned the company.
The best part is Dave, the announcer, trying so hard to stop it.
You can keep things from happening on this show, right or wrong?
Well, I couldn't just keep what happened on the show. It is live.
And Tommy Rich is just trying to put on a brave face as he realizes he might not be able to count on that $250 payday tonight, brother. Doug Gilbert holds nothing back and goes right into the promoter and producer, Randy Hales.
Randy Hales is upstairs with his hand on that little button that could cut me off. See, Randy?
Doug Gilbert's taunting the promoter and the producers, but I'm sure he wouldn't say anything too bad.
If I start saying something again, then I shouldn't about you running that road smoking crack.
And oh,
Smoking crack.
and oh.
What have I become?
And I doubt that's true.
That's not true.
Oh, yeah, Dave. It is true. And Randy Hales has confessed.
What have I become?
Dave then tries to save Gilbert, as well as the main event tonight, as he tries to send this Saturday morning children's wrestling program to commercial.
Okay, hold it, Jay. Let me say one more thing. You give everybody else their chance, right?
Watch what you say.
What do I say now? You know I'm Doug Gilbert, and Jerry Lawler, you...
I'm pretty sure that what Doug Gilbert says next, I can't put on my YouTube channel. In 1993, Jerry Lawler was indicted for assault on a minor, to say the least. An incredibly serious allegation, and a year later, the charges were dropped, and Lawler pled guilty to a misdemeanor charge of harassing a witness. And it probably goes without saying that the advertised main event didn't take place.
Doug Gilbert has been suspended indefinitely because of those comments today.
And that's exactly what I mean, sports fan. This whole blurred lines, work, shoot, whatever nonsense always falls apart. Because when you blur the lines that much, how do you know where the new line is until you cross it? But it's turn the channel garbage that I do hope never stops, because listen, sports fan, if professional wrestling ever gets its act together, what in the hell are we even going to talk about? Hey man, cool headlock. But in the end, it does seem that everyone did learn a lesson. Brian Christopher got a big WWF contract. Tommy Rich continued on the indies for at least a century or two, and Spellbinder went on to appear on one episode of TNA, and then sometimes also he did his short-lived WWF magician gimmick. While Doug Gilbert learned that controlling your temper and your emotions is a much better path, as he exhibits here with a random wrestling fan.
It's funny that comes from a pizza delivery boy that can't even make it as a job boy. I'll lay on my back. Come here, job boy. I bet you couldn't beat me like this, could you? I don't do jobs, I don't lay down. Let me see if you beat me.
For like 7 minutes.
Do you think we could get that pizza boy to hold anchovies? Because I don't like anchovies.
But at the end of it all, sports fan, what I'm trying to tell you is wrestling should always be a work. It should always be a story that's written and scripted. A fake story, which once again proves the age-old saying, as read by Burt Reynolds.
Good night, Hulkamaniacs and jabroni marks without a life that don't know it'll work when you work a work and work yourself into a shoot. Marks.
And somebody told me, said, Jerry Lawler died. I said, yeah. I said, so?